I don't know if you guys saw one of my other videos that was about breaking the negative stereotypes that Americans have for gays and lesbians, but I decided that I was going to post sort of an emergency video online in response to something that I just saw on the internet and quite frankly disgusted me and actually really made me want to commit violent acts against certain people just because that's how disgusted I was. I'm a very peaceful person, but this really made me want to seek out the people who committed this act of violence and respond with violence. And that was the incident that happened in Baltimore where a trans woman was beaten up for being in the woman's bathroom. And she was beaten up by, I think it was 2 or 3 other women who just drug her out of the bathroom, pretty much beat the shit out of her, and then she had a seizure while all of this was happening. My girlfriend's going to email me the link to the video so I can post it underneath this video. But there are just a couple of things that I just have to say about it, or else I would feel like a really bad person if I don't address some of the issues that this has stirred up. And the first point is that, really? You're gonna fucking beat up a trans person in a bathroom in the middle of a public space? The first thing that needs to be addressed is the fact that these women have no fucking control whatsoever. Because, honestly, you just can't go, like, you can't, it just blows my mind that they just drug her out of the bathroom and started beating the shit out of her. Like, you have no other self-control? You can't fight your animalistic instincts to kill someone? Like, that's just BS. That should have never happened. My second point is that the McDonald's employees who were just standing around, there was one who was intervening. There was one man who actually should be congratulated for actually trying to maintain the peace in this establishment. There were about 5 other employees just sitting around watching this happen. And, you know, I think that the guy who was videotaping shouldn't be a part of this because he was actually, like, I don't know if his intention was to videotape it because, oh my god, this terrible thing is happening, or if his intention was to videotape it because, holy crap, guys, look at what I just videotaped. She just got beat up. But either way, it's out there, it's in the media, and it's becoming viral, and it's becoming a social issue. So it might actually bring attention to the fact that transphobia is probably happening in this country more than homophobia. It's just the fact that we don't acknowledge the trans community. Like, this also addresses issues inside the LGBT community, because sometimes we forget that the trans community is a part of the LGBT community and we don't give them the support that they need a lot of the time. I've seen videos on YouTube where people have said stuff like, you know, I just think that it's great that we have figures in the media that are part of the gay and the lesbian and the bisexual community. Did you catch that I didn't include transgenders there? I did that on purpose. Whenever I see people do stuff like that, it just sickens me, because we are a community of people, and we do need to include the trans community, because I wonder where the T came from in LGBT. But anyways, there were about 5 other McDonald's employees that were just sitting around doing nothing about this incident that occurred. And we're pretty much just, it was 3 women and about 5 guys. Like, most of the employees that I saw in the video were guys that could have easily broken up this fight, but didn't. Their manager stepped in and tried to do something, but they didn't do anything. They were just sitting around doing nothing. Like, honestly, do you think that if your manager is stepping in there and breaking up the fight that he doesn't want a little bit of support? That's kind of like saying you're during a like a lunchtime rush, if your manager is totally swamped, that he doesn't want you to step in and help him out. Like, it's part of your job to be responsible and to look out for the best interest of your customers. I'm pretty sure that when a girl's getting the shit beat out of her, that it's in your best interest to probably help her. My third point is, no education is truly going to lead to the downfall of society, because the entire time I was watching this video, all I could think was, because these women are so uneducated about the fact that there are people that are different from them in the world, and that there are people who don't believe in a gender binary, and that there are people out there who don't identify as the gender that they, or that don't identify as the sex that they were born, and are actually actively trying to fit into what body they truly believe they deserved to be born into, like, that doesn't give you the right to beat them up. It doesn't give you the right to beat up a gay person just because they're not heterosexual. It doesn't give you the right to beat up a person who is sexually a man but identifies as a woman because he feels trapped in his own body. That doesn't give you the right to beat him up, to beat her up. It doesn't give you that right. And the lack of education and tolerance is truly going to lead to the downfall of society, because we're just going to have people beating the shit out of each other for differences, for petty differences. Before you know it, we're going to go back to beating each other up because that guy's Chinese or that guy's black, and I don't like that. And because I don't like the way he looks, I'm just going to beat him up. We're going to resort back to that if we don't start educating each other on tolerance. And it starts at home, and it should continue into the school systems. We should be teaching kids at school from a young age that just because you're different, that's okay. Like, if people pick on you for being different, that's not okay. Hatred is something that we don't learn. Like, it's not something that we're born with. It's something that we learn from people around us. Love is something that we learn from birth. We learn to love our mothers from birth because they are going to be the ones who are going to nurture us and are going to care for us. We don't learn to hate our mothers as soon as we're born. We learn right off the bat that, hey, that woman's the one who's giving me, nourishment, and I'm pretty sure that I love her because she's helping me live. We don't learn, I think I should hate my mother because I have abandonment issues with her. We don't learn that from a young age. That is something we learn through our interactions with society and through our interactions with people around us. And finally, I think it's up to us as gays, lesbians, bisexuals, pansexuals, transgenders, people who don't identify with the gender binary, asexuals. It's our job that when we see something like this, that we not only, like if we were in that McDonald's that particular day, it's our job to stop it. And not only that, but it's our job to speak about it. It's our job to blog about it. It's our job to just get it out there so that everyone knows what is happening right now. That this issue of transphobia is out of hand. This shouldn't have happened. This should have never happened to this poor woman. It should have never occurred. And I think that as members of the LGBT community, we really do need to speak up, and we need to say we're not going to tolerate this. We're not going to tolerate people just standing idly by while this person gets beat up for not being normal or whatever. We need to stand up and say transphobia is not right. Homophobia is not right. And people are getting beaten. People are being hospitalized. People are dying because of it, whether self-inflicted or peer-inflicted. People are dying because of this. And it should never happen. It should never come down to that. And I think it's our job to speak out as a result of this incident. Thank you for your time. And I'm sorry, and I'll get off my soapbox now.